All right, so today we are starting chapter 3-2, one-step equations. We're going to learn how to solve one-step equations. This is just a review because you already know how to do it. And then the next section is going to be two-step equations. So this is just going to build on what we're going to do next. So I'm in the book on page 110, and we're just going to start doing the examples in the top section, starting with number 1. The directions for number 1 say, state the operation and number you would use to solve each equation. So for this part, we don't have to solve it. We're just writing what we would do to solve it. So number 1 is 3x equals 12. What would I do to solve that equation? Divide by 3. That's exactly what you write. That's all they want to know. What are you going to do to solve it? Divide by 3. M minus 17 equals 20. So what are we going to do to solve number 2? Anybody can jump in.
You're going to do 17 on both sides.
Okay, so you're going to add 17. Remember, you look at what's happening to the variable and you do the opposite. So since 17 is being subtracted from m, we're going to do plus 17 to solve. How about number 3? M over 8 equals 1.6. What do I do to solve this problem?
Put a 1 under, you say 1.6. Put a 1 under it. Under 1.6.
No. What did you say, Christian? Bradley?
What?
David? David knows! Guys! What do you do to solve this?
Put a 1 under it, 1.6.
You divide both sides. Oh, no, you wouldn't divide, but no, not yet. You need the top number first. So, you multiply.
Yes.
Because
fraction means divide, you're going to do the opposite. So you're going to multiply by what?
1.6.
Multiply by 8.
Multiply by whatever is with the variable. So multiply by 8. I think the decimal really threw you guys off.
And you gotta multiply by n too.
No, not when the 8 is on the bottom. You just multiply by whatever's on the bottom.
Okay.
So what if the number's on top? Because then this is not an equation.
Yeah, what if it's 8m? What if it's 8 over m?
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's 8 over m, it's going to be different. So let me show you.
Because I know there's going to be more of those.
Yeah, eventually. Probably not in this section today, but
it's still gonna be 71.
further down the road. Okay, so now if
Would you subtract?
hold on, let's pause while Miss McNally thinks. Okay, so to solve this, we're going to do kind of what we did on this side where we multiply both sides by the bottom number. But since the bottom number is an m, that means we're moving our variable to the other side, basically. So we multiply, those two would cancel out, and then we would get 1.6m. Now, this is multiplication, so we're going to do the opposite, which is what? Division. So you're going to divide both sides by 1.6. And then those would cancel, and 8 divided by 1.6 is 0.2. Okay? Alright, you will probably have those, but not in this lesson. So number 4, is y plus 2 equals 1. What will we do to solve that?
Do opposite.
Yep.
Minus
Minus what?
1 minus 2.
Negative
Oh, wait. 1 minus 2. 1 minus.
Yeah, so we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. Subtract 2. And then number 5 and 6, we're just going to talk because I think you're getting the idea. Number 5. What do we do to solve 5? Oh my goodness, nobody has their textbook out.
What did you say?
Hold on a second, guys.
For Saturday.
Okay, so now that everyone has their books, number 5, what are you going to do to solve that one? You don't have a book?
No, it's at my house.
We're going to subtract.
Subtract what?
We're going to subtract 3.
Yes, you're going to subtract 3 to solve that one. And then the last one is actually a little bit tricky because the variable is what?
What question?
Number 6.
We're going to have to add it, right?
It's tricky. So look at the 7. Is the 7 positive or negative?
X positive.
It's positive, so you're going to do what?
The opposite.
Yes.
Add.
So you're going to subtract 7 from both sides. But then the variable has a negative on it, so how do we get rid of that negative on the variable?
And then positive.
It turns into a positive.
Subtract it.
It turns into a positive, but how?
Well, we
Add
read
it
it. Well,
to the other side.
hold up. Okay, we subtracted 7, right?
Yes.
But the 7 is positive, it had to become a negative. So
The 7 is positive, so we subtracted 7 from both sides.
Okay.
But now we have a negative on our W, which we cannot end with a negative on a variable. So how do we get rid of that?
Well, you turn into a positive.
It does, but how? You have to do something to make it turn into a
Oh,
positive.
You
yeah.
gotta
for
move
one.
you gotta move the W to the other side.
Okay, yes, you can move the W to the other side, which means then you'd have to move this number to that side.
Yeah.
So you can switch them both. Or you can divide,
Both sides like.
and I think somebody sort of said part of this, you can divide by -1
Yeah, right.
to get rid of that negative on the variable. So we'll put divide.
Isn't it just much easier just to move the 12 and the W? Instead
Yeah.
of dividing?
It can be. It depends on how you prefer to solve it. You could do it either way. But this one actually
Move the
had.
W in the 12 and then
two
put
steps.
the 7 where it is. Basically done, and I just do
Oh,
and do it to both sides.
Bradley gets Dunkin' Donuts. This is what Bradley said to do. He's like, you know what? It's easier if you go like this. And then you get that. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Basically, if you just move the numbers, you're basically done, and you're basically done,
Yeah,
and
you
it just
just-
adds up.
Yep, I agree. Good. Okay, so let me pause this while I erase the board. Uh-huh. Okay, so we're on 7 through 15, and it says solve the equation, check the solution. So we've got to do 2 things for these. So number 7 is 4x equals 48. So how do I solve this?
We divide by 4.
Divide both sides by 4. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Those guys end up canceling out or equaling 1. So we're left with x. And what's 48 divided by 4? You don't need your calculator.
6.
More.
The
15.
question?
What is 48 divided by 4?
14.
No, it's
More. Less. More.
it's 11.
12. Yes, it's 12. 12 times 4 is 48. So now the directions that we had to check our solution. So to check your work, you're going to plug in this number you got for x and see if both sides are equal. So let me do 4 times 12 equals 48. And 4 times 12 is?
4 times 12 is 48.
Thank you, 48. Does 48 equal 48?
Yes.
Yes, then we did it right, and this is the right answer.
Oh,
You have for every single one.
Yes.
That's not.
It's so easy because these are one-step equations. At least you're not checking your work for like
it's not very hard.
multi-step equations.
You just write it and then you're done.
It's not hard, you just don't want to do it.
Come on, Ethan, make that time. You can do it.
X plus 5 equals 14. So how do I solve this one?
-5.
Minus 5 from both sides. And 14 minus 5 is?
9.
Okay, so now again, since we're checking, we're going to plug the 9 in and see if it equals. So 9 plus 5 equals 14, and 9 plus 5 is? 14. So that means we got it right. Okay, so we skipped to number 13 because these ones at the bottom are a little bit different. I want to make sure you know how to do it. So I have an equation that says P equals 4S, and it's saying solve it for S. That means I have to get S alone. So I look at what's happening to the S and I do the opposite. So what am I going to do?
Negative.
Remember when two things are written next to each other, it means
Times.
multiply. So I'm going to do the opposite, divide. So divide by whatever's next to the S. Those cancel out, so then I get S equals P over 4. And that's it. Okay, so the last one we're doing is 15. It says I equals PRT. So what is the operation happening between the P, the R, and the T? Everything's being what?
Times.
Multiplied. So we're going to do the opposite because they want us to get R alone. So that means I'm going to divide everything by whatever's next to R. And there's two things next to R, so I could just do them both at once.
Hey, what do you put? P.
Yep. And then the P's and the T's cancel on this side. And I'm just left with R. And then the other side, just bring it down.
And the I down too.
Yep. And that's it.